Oh.
What's up, guys? Luca here. Luca Tio, yes, the Ashen one, the Ashen Lucario. The Ashen Luca. It's me. I'm here with another episode of the show. A lot of things happened gaming wise this week, and we're going to get into all of those topics. But before we do, shout out to Singer. Okay, shout out to Slow.
Why, thank you. Yes, it is me. It's your boy. I have been remastered. I am now in crispy 4K, 120 FPS, baby.
Nice. All right.
And soon you will be too.
Okay, and then Slow-Mo?
What up? Let's do it.
Okay.
We in the house.
I need you to add some pep in your step, baby. Add some pep in your step.
The pep is there.
No, it's
not. Pep is stepping.
Okay. No, it's not. So anyway, moving on from that.
I got a Red Bull. I got to drink it, and then it's gonna be like 10 minutes after I drink it. It's gonna hit. So
what is this? Cool. What is this?
See, Drav. The problem is the SSD didn't kick in yet. So
that's all right. Anyway, so moving on from that. So, guys, what's up? Official Raslin Sonora. That was earlier today. What's up, Gregor, Arcade, Lionel, Drav, Hurricane? Yeah, everybody seems to be super slow today. I don't know what's going on. But it is what it is. All right, let me just tape this out, babies. Ooh. You know what's interesting?
No, what's that?
As you grow older and you get used to things, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Faction 2 concerns, Bungie sued. You get used to things. You stop caring about certain things. But you know what I do care about? What did they call it? Remake Station? Was that about the PlayStation 4? Remaster Station?
Remaster Station, yes.
Remaster Station, yeah. PlayStation 4 Remaster Station, baby. What are we doing, Naughty Dog? What?
Do you know how spooky it is? Like how
spooky is it?
How spooky it is. Can I share my screen a second?
Okay, of course.
All right. Because this was brought to my attention yesterday, and to be honest, I don't even know. All right.
Okay.
Zoom
All right,
in.
go ahead and zoom in. The Last of Us series full game releases. So The Last of Us came out in 2013. The Last of Us PS4 remaster. 2020, The Last of Us Part 2. 2022, The Last of Us Part 1. Remade. And 2023, Part 1 PC port. 2024, The Last of Us Part 2 remaster, rumored, almost confirmed. Too much or not enough? It's too much. But I am not a Last of Us fan, so maybe it's not too much. Maybe it's just enough. I don't know.
Is it though? Like, I mean, I understand remastering or remaking it once, but twice? The same game?
Bro, it's too much for me. It's wild that you got a remaster of a game coming out before the multiplayer that was separated from the game comes out. That's crazy.
And go ahead.
No, it's just it's everything that we hear ever since maybe 2019 from Naughty Dog has always been just kind of make you kind of like cock your head to the side, like, really? What's happening? Because just when it comes to communication, they're never like everything that we know about factions, everything that we know about what they're working on, and it's especially when it comes to the factions too, has all been information that's been leaked. It hasn't been stuff that they planned on showing us. The only thing they've ever planned on, any details ever planned on giving us, was when Neil Druckmann showed up at Summer Game Fest like last year with a JPEG, with a still shot, a artist rendering in crayon of factions to something, a map or whatever the heck that was, saying, hey, it'll be out next year, which it wasn't. Everything else has been stuff that's been leaked, information that has been been leaked out and then later on confirmed to be true, and it's never been good. So it's just, yeah, I don't know, man. Like this remaster, there's gonna be a ton of people that's gonna get it, and they're probably gonna like link that with the PC port. And so there'll be people on PC who will probably pick it up. Hopefully, Iron Galaxy isn't trying to destroy our PC rigs again by by being a part of that port. But I don't get it. I don't get it. They need to come out with some new content, bro. Like
What
stop
they need to
mastering
do
stuff,
is
bro.
actually remaster games that need it. It's a beautiful, stunning, graphically impressive game. You can't do much more to the graphics on that game. Like, there is not much more you could squeeze out of that lemon. But then you look at something like Demon Souls. Okay, that makes sense. The game's old. The visuals are dated. So instead of picking Naughty Dog picking The Last of Us 2, why not remake something out of your past that isn't The Last of Us or Uncharted? You
Because it's
make
easy money.
games. I know it's easy money, but like, at least give your people something instead of the same game over and over. Give them something different, maybe.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
look, they're
But
definitely working on new content, but
Oh
it's
yeah, they
Naughty
have a new
Dog,
IP.
so it takes forever for them to get that game out, and we're probably not going to see it, whatever their newness is, until like the end of this generation, right?
right.
So if you're working on others like factions too, like it's the kind of imperative that you actually deliver on things like that before you go drop another remaster of the game that it was supposed to be a part of in the first place. It's a bad look in my opinion.
Yeah, and this is just rumors, just speculation based off a job description on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I mean, there's nothing officially announced, so we don't know for sure when this is coming out. Maybe it will come out after factions, you know? Maybe
Hmm.
it will. But
Actually, wait, here's a question: which will come first, Factions or Last of Us 2 remake?
The
factions
Last of Us
hopefully,
2
but The Last of
remake.
Us 2 remake most likely.
Yeah.
So you won't even be able to bundle them together.
Why
Damn.
bundle things together when you can sell it separately?
Yeah.
True, but then when you got the second season of The Last of Us show, I would imagine coming out in a couple of years, right?
Mhm.
So
It's
you'd
supposed to be
probably want
coming
to
out.
coincide it.
Wait. Oh, the writer's strike kind of put stuff
Yeah.
off. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
I know they wanted it for later, like late next year, but who knows if that's still the case? So who knows?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's just definitely one of those things where I feel like if I was I don't know. I don't know. I mean, here's my thing. There are 3 games that I wanted a remake of, right? Demon Souls, Dead Space, and Dragon Age. I'm 2 for 3, baby. I'm not getting 3, but I'm 2 for
yeah.
3, so I'm pretty fucking happy, you know what I'm saying? I just personally I remember, like, I don't know, they do a lot of remakes of games that are a lot of it's 2. 3? Right, 3 okay, so they did Spider-Man not remakes, remasters. So Spider-Man remastered, Horizon remaster, and now Last of Us remaster and stuff, right? Now me personally, I think it's for sure double dipping. I don't think it's been long enough for the especially with the quote unquote power of the PS5. I don't think it's really been long enough for them to I don't know, start working on a Last of Us 2 remake if that's what they're doing. Remaster. I like the game ran at 60, right?
It got
Yeah.
updated. It's the weird thing. They released a free an update for The Last of Us 2 on PS5 to get it to 60.
Hmm.
But now they want to remaster it to give
Allegedly, yeah.
you allegedly to give you what you're already getting 60. So what they're gonna add some dual sense features and
Probably.
Maybe a few more game modes, perhaps. Like that's what you get.
Probably some visual bells and whistles. I
Like
guess I
what?
don't know.
Have you seen
I
the
don't know.
game? Like
Ray tracing, like ray trace shadows in the corners.
Maybe this is
you
for the
know?
PS6 or a PS4 or PS5 Pro or
Pro.
something like that. Yeah.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
If
Could
it's
be.
real, that is. So
Mhm.
there's definitely one of those things where I don't know. I have to wonder where Sony's head is at when it comes. I mean, I know where their head is at in their pockets. It makes perfect sense, man. It makes perfect
Yep.
sense to me. I'm not really shocked or anything like that. Especially with the other games they have made for remasters. That is, you know, I wish I could get a remaster of. No, you know, I want again. I got 2 out of 3. I'm happy that I got the remakes that I did, and they're a very, very excellent remakes and stuff. So, I mean, I have to ask the chat, like the Last of Us fans in the chat, like, what do you guys think? But before I do that, shout out to Jay. What's up, Stan? Sup, Luca? I want Microsoft to announce the completion of ABK on 1020. I want them to be done with this shit too, man.
Yeah.
Well, he might
But
get that. I mean, word is
that when
he may
Spider-Man
get
comes out?
that. Oh yeah, that is where Spider-Man comes out.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, that's kind of funny. But he more than likely, based off of what people are saying, will get that next week instead. So maybe a bit early. Might get that a little early.
Yeah, I want that shit to be done, but I definitely see where he's saying where he's like, I wanted to drop the same day as Spider-Man, so the news outlets are talking about the deal. I get that. Get that. But what's up, Lucius Trap House? Trap House says, can we get a new IP or Last of Us 3? Rome says PC port, and they can add that with a firmware update. That's true. And Gregor says the PS4 game ran at 60 on PS5. The remaster will probably have improved textures and DualSense features, or controls that is, and come to PC. You can't just port the PS4 patch to PC. What's up, Foxy? Let's see here. What's up, King Metrochan? Iman says Naughty Dog cucks are the worst. They're pretty bad, man. They're very scary, in my opinion. What's up, Glenzer, Breesky, Meat Puppet, Aik, what's goody? Drav, what's goody? Hurricane, what's goody, my boys? Arcade, how y'all doing today, right? How y'all doing? But anyway, so Last of Us fans, are you guys excited for this potential remaster?
I just have thoughts about it. If you're a Last of Us fan, like I know Jack is, he's paid for The Last of Us 3 times. They had your ass 3 times, paying for the same game 3 times. They got your ass. That is some incredible loyalty to a brand. Getting you to buy the same game 3 times. Sure, you added some bells and whistles, but it's essentially the same game, right?
Yeah.
The story ain't gonna change. There's no DLC.
I don't know, man.
I'm pretty sure there are some people that want the story for part 2 to change.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
but
yeah, true.
but you know, it is what it is. It's not going to change. It's going. If anything, they'll probably just throw in some extra cutscenes here and there. You know, some extra details of Abby in the boat. You know, just for some of y'all that love that. That love that scene. Anyway, no, I'm not getting it. I'm probably, and I'm definitely not getting the PC port if Iron Galaxy is involved. And if they're not, like after part 1's PC port, there was a whole different level of bad PC portness. I know that's not a word, but I made one. But
I
you say, Singer?
I feel they need to nail The Last of Us 2 PC port. Because you messed up with the first one. If you mess up with the second one and still didn't learn your lesson, people ain't gonna be buying your shit on Steam. You fucked up twice. Come on now.
Right.
Like you can't afford to mess up this time because
you don't want to mess with PC gamers. when they feel like you're doing them wrong, they're gonna make sure that they don't pay for anything that you make. If they're going to get it, you know how they're going to get it. They're going to sell the high seas to get it. So
yep, no problems, no issues at all. So
they're like, you want to rob me? I'll rob you, basically.
Yeah,
basically.
And that's why I could trust reviews on Steam. Like if it's a mixed opinion, it's like okay, so but if your game's terrible, they'll let you know, and there's no sugarcoating it. So it's great. So hopefully Nixis gets on and does it. Come on, Nexus. We believe in you.
Yeah. So again, all this is alleged. It could be highly. I mean, it could be assumed that that's what's going to happen based on past instances of them remastering their other games, right? So it would make sense if they did it for Last of Us Part 2 as well. Who know or part 2 as well. Who knows when this will actually come? Again, this could be for a potential PlayStation Pro or for, the PS6, you know what I'm saying? So, it's one of those to some people it's a genre defining game for some people. Um, but to others would like to forget it, you know. But here's my thing, man. I'm just kind of like, damn, we got to deal with these people getting upset and bashing The Last of Us Part 2 again? Again? Like, we got to deal with this for a fourth time? Again? Like, goddamn, dude. Like, come on, man. I'm going to be seeing some egregious stuff on my timeline. Gonna have Naughty Dog fans being super annoying. Like, I'm just like, ugh. I don't want to deal with that kind of, that's the kind of, fanboyism and anti-corporation stuff that I do not like because it just gets real ugly real fast.
Right. Well, at least this time we won't have to see the spoilers left and right,
Yeah,
and
that
the
is true.
inaccurate spoilers because they were saying stuff that wasn't even true. I guess they just misinterpreted certain things, but who knows? It was crazy, and it was all and that was like, if I recall correctly, like 2 to 3 months before the game even came out. It
Mhm.
was like massive spoilers all over Twitter, much like how there's massive
What?
spoilers all over Twitter
Don't mention it. Don't mention it. Because if
of
you mention it
Starfield.
okay.
Starfield. That's what I was
Okay.
saying.
All right.
Massive spoilers of Starfield. Yeah.
Okay. So, anyway, moving on from fucking that, but yeah, so it's one of those things where I'm just kind of like, all right, like I really don't want to deal with seeing this shit again, but seeing it again, I shall, man. Seeing it again, I shall. All right. So, what else is going on in the Sony camp? So this does not directly pertain to Sony, but it pertains to Bungie. I fucking Whew, listen, as a former Destiny player, I have to be honest with y'all, Bungie be pissing me off, all right? Like, they used to piss me off so bad, like, all the time, you know? Like
Tell me about it.
Yep.
they were just super annoying, right? But, when was this? As I mentioned, damn, we talked about that Latinx shit last week, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
think.
so Bungie
Yeah,
did the whole, like, they made this goofy ass post. Let me show y'all. Let's see here. Being Latin.
It's this was the most wildest post I've seen. Like,
It's so I can't look at it without laughing because it's just so
well, the thing is, but the Black Set Xbox thing they did was bad, but this takes the cake. Like, I haven't seen anything to this level. There's no way.
You just know this was not made by anybody
Mhm.
that was Latino or Latina.
Yep.
None. No, not at all. Not at all. Like, it just wasn't. It's
I mean, if
hilarious.
it was made by someone who was Latino, it was one of those white Latinos who's like super SJW, super leftist, that kind of thing with colored hair. Like I guarantee you, it's someone like that, man.
Purple
It was
hair.
somebody like that, okay? So I saw this, I burst out laughing. It's like Latin AEOX, and I was like, "Are y'all playing Hangman? Like, what's going on, man?" Like, it's the whole Latinx shit. Latino people don't like that shit. That's what I've heard, man. They're like, I don't fucking call me this. Oh, shout out to Cassie. What's up, baby? Up in the chat. She said Latino or Latina. Stop virtue signaling to these white people in power that make these nonsense rules when you're sitting here lying about how you care about Hispanic people. I mean, listen.
Facts. And that's a typical Bungie move.
Mm-hmm. And then let's see here. They were these are the tweets that they hid. This dude's like, which white non-Hispanic employee wrote this? Thanks, Bungo. I'm proud to see a pen with the brown fist raised out of the fields. this person says this is a slur. This is like, dude, you fucking racist. This person's like, fuck you. This person's like, calling a Latino or Latina Latinx is a good way to get yourself a nice beat down. They don't subscribe to our Western nonsense. It's a gendered language to start with. Quit applying our garbage to people who want nothing to do with it. Please, Bungie, just call me this, but Latinx is too much. There's only Latino or Latina. No Latino person asked for Latinx. Y'all should be ashamed for posting this. Call me a slur instead. Oh. Oh, Lord have mercy.
That's wild.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so this person's like, this might not actually be someone. No, maybe it is. I don't know. But this person's like, hey, I'm a non-binary Latino. If you corporate scumbags ever call me Latinx, just know I have a metal bat that would love to meet you. Like, people don't fucking like this shit, dude. They don't like this shit. They got fucking they got raided. Okay, context added up on Twitter. The term Latino and Hispanic should not be used interchangeably since their meanings describe qualities of two different populations that sometimes overlap and sometimes don't. Latinx is a term that most of the Latino population do not identify. So, yeah. And like, just as being Hispanic is more than the language we might speak, is Hispanic a language? What language is that? What guys, what language is that?
I've never heard of the Hispanic language. Maybe that's just me.
Honestly, I mean,
I got some Latinas in the chat. So what fucking language is that?
I mean, I've heard of Spanish, but I haven't.
Yes, Spanish and Portuguese.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
So they did this nonsense. I said something as well. Definitely, you guys already know. I jumped on this as well because I thought it was hysterical. I was just like, this shit's fucking ridiculous. Like, they're dumb. Like, nobody likes this shit, dude. The only people who like this shit are the people that they fucking work with, right? But guess what? Guess what? So not only that happened, Destiny 2 and Marathon developer Bungie, okay, is currently being sued for retaliation and wrongful termination by a former HR manager who alleges she was let go when she raised a potential case of, what is that? Read it for me, babes. What is that? Racial discrimination to her supervisors. So I hate virtue signaling cucks, dude. I hate virtue signaling cucks. That shit annoys the hell out of me. Because is this not pinnacle fucking virtue signaling? You know what I'm saying? So she let's see here. So she was like, let's see here. Okay, so she alleges her recommendations for sensitivity training were met with hostility and denial. Guys, but I thought this was Bungie for Latinxes and the Latins, and no.
Nope.
I thought they were champions of diversity.
Nope, it's all for PR, baby.
And
anything to make themselves look good. Yep.
All right, shout out to Phil saying they'll post being LGBTQRSTUV for Pride next. Man, I have no idea what you may be referring to. Oh, no. Because it's the alphabet, right? Alphabet gang. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will always remember reading that IGN, the very few times that IGN actually did some good reporting. But when IGN did this whole expose on Bungie, and remember when it was like popular for everyone to be like, hey, we're against this kind of stuff, and Bungie jumped out there. I can't remember. I think it was right around the time that ABK was getting called out for all their foolishness,
it was around
and
that time,
Ubisoft. Yeah. And then Bungie came out with a public statement like, how dare they? We at Bungie don't stand for this kind of nonsense, only for IGN to fact check them and be like, oh, you definitely stand for that because you got all that going on there. And if you recall, they got a lot of like standing ovation applause because they had a gay character in Destiny 2, and they very graciously took all of the praise for being brave enough to do that. But behind the scenes,
so
the
stunning,
narrative team,
so brave.
Yeah, the narrative team had to fight tooth and nail to get that character in the game, and the only reason they slid it in is because they at the very last moment put it into the script and had the voice actors do it, and the Bungie higher ups completely missed it. So it was a mistake. It actually got in that this character said a line that insinuated that they were a gay man. So it was all an accident. And then once they got praised for it, it was like, yeah, we all about that, around here. Yeah, we love those guys, right? It's just like, come on now. And they always have these little groups within Bungie where they create these initiatives and say, hey, yeah, we definitely want you guys to be heard, and we want you guys to feel heard, but just don't ask for nothing serious, please. Like, because they'll have these groups, and then they'll
Like
have
this group
someone
right
with
here?
leadership.
Introducing Black and Bungie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And they'll have someone in leadership who's not even a part of the group that's oppressed in the meetings, like shouting down and saying, I don't know about that one. That might be a little bridge too far. Let's try something different. And they're basically creating so there's never any actual change going on. So you guys know I love going in on Bungie, but I don't get any enjoyment having to talk about how they treat people like garbage, and reading really long articles that go in on how badly they treat their employees. Like, it's not fun. There's
So
nothing
yes,
funny about that.
when she sat down to speak with Smith, that's the employee, he allegedly pointed out that he was the only Black employee on a team of 50 individuals and expressed that he felt he was being singled out and racially targeted by his supervisor. She goes on to share this information with her supervisor and recommended that Smith's supervisor receive diversity training, but alleges that her recommendation was met with hostility and denial. She says she was told that the individual she was recommending take the training had been there for a long time and are highly regarded, and her recommendation was denied. During a follow-up discussion about the incident sometime after, was additionally told by her supervisor that she didn't want to touch those conversations with a 10-foot pole. So here's the thing. It is so easy to just go on social media, tweet some bullshit that you don't actually believe and the culture doesn't actually follow, and then keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what these corporations do, Like, I just,
Will
again,
you
I
read that
can't
part
stand
there?
fucking virtue signaling. Which ones?
The next paragraph where they recommended terminating the person that said, hey, I'm being singled out for being, the only Black person on my team. So, hey, let's just fire that guy. Let's just get rid of him.
Okay,
Like,
hold on. Saber, I
yeah.
understand that you're a PlayStation cuck, but we're talking about real things right now. Racial discrimination. We have had episodes. We made fun of the Blacks at Xbox. I remember distinctly because Masteline was cackling in my ear with me all day. I think all day was there too. We made fun of the Blacks at Xbox. We also talked about the Halo Infinite devs calling people monkeys. We talked about the mixers issue.
Yeah,
Please
we
do
talked
not
about
do your
Bonobo.
console
Yeah.
war bullshit when it comes to issues regarding racial discrimination or homophobia or misogyny. I don't think that's funny. I don't think it's cute, and you're gonna piss me off. 9 times out of 10, you can do your pony shit. I don't give a fuck, but do not ever try to do that console war shit when we're talking about real issues. Okay, like just please cut it out. It's really annoying. And again, we talked about the Blacks at Xbox. We talked about the racism with the Halo devs. I think we were some of the few people in the community who actually said, yeah, that shit is actually super fucking racist, and they did it on purpose. So
Yeah. And
again, those fucking pony blinders, there's too goddamn tight on your head because you can't seem to fucking recall us talking about that. Please cut
I
it out.
was one of the few people that kept bringing up the Bonobo incident after it was already like, hey, let's talk about this for a week, and then people stopped talking about it. I was the one that still kept talking about it and said I refused to play Halo Infinite until they got rid of the leadership there that allowed that foolishness to happen. So, like, this is the wrong podcast to come in and say, hey, but what about, don't do the, first of all, the what about isms don't change what we're talking about right here, right now. So they're pointless. That's one. And two, we're the wrong podcast to do the what about ism stuff with, because we were actually calling all that stuff out then the way we're calling this stuff out now. And there are plenty of other podcasts that you can actually say some of that stuff to and it be somewhat accurate. But this ain't it. This ain't one of them.
So apologies for interrupting anybody. I don't play when it comes to real life prejudice. I don't think that shit is funny. I don't think it's cute. And unlike some of the people on Twitter, I actually have fucking integrity in being a black woman. So, you know, some people care a little bit more about these consoles than they do their actual race. You know, I guess we won't get into that.
It's like, I'm a fanboy first and a black person second, right? It's crazy. No, the fact that she had to point out to them, it would be racial bias for them to fire Smith because of this situation. You know, it just seems like they're completely like brain dead when it comes to even their justification for not sending Smith's supervisor to diversity training, which I think is worthless. I think diversity training means nothing.
I agree.
It's information.
Is trash, dude.
Yeah, it's information that these people already know. They don't care. There's a reason why they act the way they act towards people that are marginalized or minorities they don't like. There's a reason why they do it. They're just not like forthcoming and honest about it. But nothing in diversity training is going to change who they are. They're not going to sit in diversity training and just go, "Oh, epiphany. Oh man, I've been a bigot. Oh my
God, fucking bigots, dude. They don't care."
Yeah, they don't care. So it's just like, it means nothing. But the fact that, like, look, that's that person's job, and that's the only like recourse they had for a situation like this. And even then, Bungie was like, this person is so highly regarded. They've been here forever, a very long time. No. And it's just like, so what are you really saying is that if you are a popular enough person, if you are a talented enough developer, and if you've been at Bungie for a long time, the rules don't apply to you as they do everyone else.
Not like the rules really apply to anyone else either.
Yeah, true. Right.
So yeah, so it's if we continue on, let's see here. Her alleges that her supervisor became extremely angry at her for having reached out to Benjamin and gave her a written warning over email. Supervisor also called Benjamin to apologize for Alm's approaching her, supposedly telling Benjamin that she didn't want her to think that she was racist. Claimed she was placed in the needs improvement category during a review, despite previously having excellent reviews from both peers and clients, and was told by her supervisor to look for an off-ramp and exit from the job. Shortly after, said she found her email and Bungie platform access cut off without explanation, and despite multiple attempts to contact her supervisor, received no response for several days. I would sue the fuck out of them too.
Right.
I would sue the fuck out of them too. You know, I like 100% would do the same thing. Again, I can't stand these fucking virtue signaling corporations. They don't give a fuck about us. They don't give a fuck about you. The only thing they care about is trying to look good for the other industry cucks. You know what I'm saying? It's like this is the craziest thing about this industry is that this is like the most outwardly pro Black, pro LGBT, pro minority group ever. Like, they're more outwardly pro that stuff versus any other industry, right? And then behind the scenes, when it comes to these corporations, it's sexual misconduct, sexual harassment. Employee killed herself after being sexually assaulted. The leadership at fucking Ubisoft getting accused of sexual harassment. Like, we got Ubisoft, we got Activision Blizzard, we got Bungie, EA, EA. We got fucking 343.
Yep. Didn't something happen at Naughty Dog at one time?
Naughty Dog. So like we have all these instances in these cases of prejudice and abuse coming out from these corporations, but outwardly they're like, yeah, pro-woman, pro-gay, pro-trans, pro-black, pro-Latin. Also, we're actually racist. Also, we're actually homophobic, we're transphobic, and we're sexist behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's all marketing, because they know those are the things that they need to say to get the customers to feel good about, partaking in their products. So it's all marketing for them. They don't really care. They don't really like it's wild. Because I was looking at the article and everything that it had occurred, in the very conscious decisions that they made to basically punish this woman for doing her job. That was her job to do that. They punished her for doing it. And all of that they did after getting exposed by the previous IGN article from 2021 that we were talking about. And then their response after that was, "Ooh, you know what? You guys are right. We gotta do better. We gotta look at ourselves and make some changes, make
We
some
gotta look
different
inward.
decisions."
We gotta look inward.
Bullshit. Like, you even that was just nonsense. They're never going to change. This is who they are. So it's the reason why we know of developers who were told don't work there. It's
Yeah, and
funny,
so Saber says, what is Saber says, well, this is an isolated incident. We should wait for more information. It's not an isolated incident. Okay. Was hired at Bungie 5 months following an IGN report on the company's work culture, which was toxic. In it, over 25 employees alleged the company had a history of allowing toxic culture to fester, including racial and gender bias, with those who reported such instances to HR, alleging their reports were frequently dismissed or even turned against them. Following this report and prior to Alm's hiring, Bungie former HR head stepped down from her role. So this is not a isolated incident. This is a continued systemic issue existing in this corporation. And like, I remember my mom asked me a while back, would you ever want to work in the gaming industry? Absolutely fucking not. I am not the one to fucking try when it comes to anything involving racism, sexism, and damn sure any fucking sexual harassment. I'll fucking leave. All right. And of course, I am in a position where I can do that. And there are some people, they got kids, they got they got houses, they got other shit they got to pay for, and it's hard out here to get a job, right? But my ass would be out. I would curse out the person and then I would fucking leave, all right? So listen, I'm just not the one to try when it comes to this bullshit, right? So these corporations suck. That's just never going to change. It is what it is. Like, I've accepted it, and I think we should all just be ready for the next instance
I mean,
where
if I'm a
a corporation gets exposed.
if I'm a Batman, which I am, I would reckon 90% of all the game studios have cases of this. It's just 90% of them don't get announced or told about. This is probably happening all over the place. We're just finding out about these individual cases, or maybe multiple cases particular, but this is happening all over the place. So I wouldn't put it past any studio, any publisher, whatever. They've all got this shit going on, I would imagine. Some worse than others, but they all got it going on.
I wouldn't be surprised because I was thinking about this, right? I'm like, what? Like, don't get me wrong. There's when it comes to this kind of shit, like, it's not isolated in the gaming industry. There's plenty of industries where people are just doing that nasty shit too, right? But it's like
Tech
maybe it's
industry in general.
the tech industry in general, right? Maybe it's because like, it's like that gaming was like for nerds, you know what I'm saying? Generally like white male nerds. That's typically what it was, right? Like it's for white male nerds, and the culture has changed, the space has changed so much when it comes to that aspect. Like there's so much diversity when it seemingly, right? So this like old school mentality, but that old school mentality still exists where people were just awful, just prejudice in every single way that you can fucking think of, you know what I'm saying? So again, I'm not surprised that this shit came out. I just think it's funny it came out after that nonsense and they got roasted on social media, rightfully so, because they are virtue signaling. They do not care about any of the actual issues. All they care about is is getting their getting pats on the back, you know what I'm saying? So all right, let's see here. Okay. 25 out of 11. Okay, Saber, one more warning, okay? But luckily, we are changing the topic, so we can just move on. Shout out, hey, JT, happy birthday to you, baby! How's the 30s treating you? My back hurts. Okay, anyway. What's up, Steel Rain, baby? Let's see here. Neil said it should phase out as the old guard retires. I don't know. I don't know, Neil. Like, yeah. But yeah, it is definitely an industry-wide problem for fucking sure. So I remember in 2020 they had a slew of Activision Blizzard employees leave the work where I was. They never detailed why, but we know why now. Like, yeah, no, dude. Again, I could just never work in this industry. Like, I would have. Listen, I just have too many anger issues. You know, like I have too many anger issues. I wouldn't be able to deal with that shit, man. Um, Nathaniel says racism is never going anywhere. This world is prejudice, sexuality, nationality, deception, greed, lust, discrimination, hate is never going anywhere. We need to make that change, and they stand against it. Yeah, I agree. I literally just watched. I think hold on, double check this. Yeah, I literally just saw a video of the Israeli army pouring cement into a water source which supplies Palestinians. Like that this kind of like hatred, this toxic it's not like this culture and of course that is like a way bigger issue than what happened at Bungie, right? But like when it comes to the cycle of hatred, it may be a lot better in certain aspects because, you know, we're not fucking slaves in America at least, right? But it's still just something that's always gonna exist when it comes to this kind of stuff because the older generation are teaching the younger generation to be prejudiced, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're you could, of course, turn against them, but, like, if your parents are racist or your parents are sexist or your parents are homophobic, you know, maybe you pick up on some of those traits, maybe you don't, but it's just something that continues to be taught. You know what I'm saying? Continue to be made a joke of, and, I don't think it's ever going anywhere, and, again, I just think it sucks that
I would
people
say
got
it's
into
worse
this
now
stuff. No, I don't think it's worse. But why do you think it's
because,
worse?
well, because everything was isolated in the countries because no one had social media or the internet, right? So you could only go off what was happening in your particular country. But now because you have the internet, you could send the message further. Like everything is interconnected now. So because everything is interconnected, if you wanted to push an agenda or something, you could do it everywhere at once, worldwide. Like the world is at your fingertips. Whereas before, it wasn't. Like you had no idea what was going on the other side of the world.
But there's a
So
flip
in
side
some
to that.
ways,
The flip side of that is that social media and things being exposed also kind of minimizes, not
yeah,
minimizes, but prevents some atrocities from happening. Because if you look at this country has the United States has a long history with racial race riots, um race related race motivated massacres. There are entire towns and cities now where people don't know that the history of the town was it was created by black people as a black community, and at some point in time all of them or a significant number of them were massacred and white people just moved into their same
Yeah, I
properties,
didn't
took
know
them
about
over.
Tulsa, Oklahoma until I watched Watchmen. Like, what? And then I learned about, like, how they used to cannibalize black people and also made furniture out of them from a fucking, online article. There were some instances in the early, I think, 30s and 40s where, damn, what, it was spooky. What? There was some army going around, like, and the soldiers were there was, like, a sexual assault epidemic back then. Let's see here, and I read this entire okay, here we go. Oh, wait, you know what? This is modern day. Ooh, okay, hold on. Okay. Alright, this is, modern day, so we're just gonna go ahead and, let's see, World War I think it was World War okay, yeah. So, the Russians, in this article were going through Germany, vile things, right? And I read through all this shit and I'm just like, we're cooked. We're fucking cooked as a society. This kind of evil is just never fucking disappears, you know? It's just human nature, there's always going to be. And you know what's interesting? I've been learning more about fucking animals, not fucking animals, right? I've been learning I've been learning more about certain things that happen in the animal kingdom, and sexual assault is like something that like ducks do it, seals do it. I think it's seals or sea lions. It's one or the other, right? Um, who else does it? Yeah, there's like there's different animals who participate in that, and since humans are animals, it's you know what you guys get what I'm saying, right? So I just think personally that humans are fucking we
Well,
have a great capacity for evil, but we also have a great capacity for good, you know? And I think it should stand to reason that there are many people who are against these acts, who are against prejudice, who want to stand for the right side of history. There's many people who genuinely are disgusted by that stuff and who are good people and who help people. That exists as well. So it's the good and the evil, they coincide.
well, the evil's been around since the year dot. Like we could go to BC time period, and you have people enslaved, massacred, murdered, all pillaged, all the things. Like even I look at like because obviously I took the history of the UK. It's like we've been invaded and massacred, like the original people of the UK, which were the Celts. Um, like oh, we had the Romans come over, we had the Vikings, we had all the people came over and decided to do whatever they did. Just been going on for so many thousands of years, and it's just not stopping. It's just gonna be one of those things that I guess exists until we create utopia. Maybe I don't know.
It's just and utopia is typically a dystopia, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then,
Eh,
what's up, Max? What's up, Ben? How you doing, man? Let me know if you wanna
Mass in the
come
house.
on or if you just wanna keep listening and stuff, all Gucci. Okay, so Tando said cats have hooks on their peens so the female can't escape. Dolphins definitely need to be in fucking jail. Um, yeah, spooky, okay? Luca not escaping the furry allegations, unfortunately, and I'm not escaping those, unfortunately. It was a slip of tongue, man. Animal Kingdom is just as fucked up. Yeah, like we're fucked, man. As a society, we're cooked. We're fucking cooked. But and again,
yep.
like I said, great capacity for evil, great capacity for good. We just tend to hyper focus and hyper fixate on the evil because that has a more visceral impact on us compared to people doing the right thing, you know?
I'll be right back.
Gotcha, buddy. So, anyway, we can just move on from that. Like I said, shit spooky. Shout out to people at Bungie. I don't know what the hell is going on over there, but it ain't me, you know? So, okay, the next topic. Oh my. Okay, let's see here. So I played Assassin's Creed Mirage. Okay, Did you try it, Singer?
Nope. Backlog. Too many. I've got like 3 games on the go. Nope. Can't play it.
Okay, cool. So, guys, real quick, am I cutting in and out for y'all?
No.
Okay, because you're cutting in and out for me. All right.
Wait, I am.
Yeah.
Like how badly?
Well, it's fine sometimes, but then it's like your audio like dips. But I don't know if it's me because no one in the chat has mentioned it. But you know, people in the chat don't like to mention when the audio is bad, even though I ask for people to do so.
Is that better or something?
I don't know. It's like it's fading, but you're good right now. It just happens sometimes when you're talking. So,
Maybe
let's
I
see
got the
here.
noise cancellation on a bit too aggressively.
All right. Mass Effect was set 150 years after our time, and they still scrubbed the black man being the first human specter. It's never ending. Oh shit, dude. All right, sounds good, guys. Sounds good. Okay, what's up, Vac? How you doing, buddy? All right, so I played Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm actually enjoying it. Is it really super fucking basic? Yes, absolutely. That shit is basic as hell. But that's what people wanted, right? Like they wanted it to go back to its roots, you know? So I don't really see what the issue is. Like, I see a lot of people like Skill Up says I don't recommend Assassin's Creed Mirage. I saw Alex make a video on it. He says don't get Assassin's Creed Mirage. I don't and it's currently at a 77 on Metacritic, which I mean that's a good that's like good. That's a good score, you know. There's
It's
77,
a
78,
decent
77.
score game.
Yeah, it's
What are you playing it on?
Xbox because my game share partner bought it.
Oh, okay. So you got your Xbox to turn on. That's good.
I know.
Eh?
Dude, the scavenger hunt I went on to find the power cord, my HDMI still was not fucking working, so I was switching cords around. I was like, is it really fucking worth it for me to like try to play this game? Yes. All right. I did it. I got my Xbox to turn on, right? So I could play it. So I liked it. Like I said, it's very much back to the basics. Like it is a very simple Assassin's Creed game in the sense where I'm still in the beginning. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I'm still in the beginning, so I'm speaking like based on the opening hours, right? Like, you know, there's always a betrayal. There's always something dramatic that happens in the beginning that shapes the personality and the character that you play as. And then you go from there and you start assassinating folks. You know what I'm saying? Mass, I think your camera's on, bud.
Mm-hmm.
And so I haven't really gotten into like the nitty-gritty of the combat or anything like that yet, but I'm very much looking forward to getting into the combat because I'm curious. Like I saw Gene, he posted this clip which was fucking ridiculous where Basim like did this special attack and ended up killing 6 guards in like a second. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, that's a little that's not the basics. That's not the basics, right? But ultimately again, it's fucking basic, dude. It's basic. It's got a basic score, it's got a basic plot, it's got a basic main character. It's a basic fucking game. And they're working on another Assassin's Creed game, right? Outside of this, it's just like
They are.
Yeah, this is just a little like, hey, this is for the people who want the basic Assassin's Creed shit, dude.
I mean,
What's up, Maslin?
personally,
What up?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah, COVID tried to get me again.
Damn, again.
Bullshit. Yeah, bullshit.
Oh damn.
damn.
Damn, we're glad you're here. You're still here, buddy.
Me too. It was hit or miss for a minute.
Yeah. So did you play as Assassin's Creed? Did you play Assassin's Creed?
For like, I don't know, like 2 hours. It
I
is
think
very
the more
basic.
important question is, did you pay for it?
Of course not.
I knew you didn't.
That was obvious. Otherwise, I wouldn't have played it because it's basic as shit.
It's super fucking basic, you know. But for people who, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I was I feel like one of the few people. I played Origins. That shit was just too much for me. It was too much for me. I beat the game, but it kind of turned me off of Assassin's Creed because when I found out about Odyssey, I was like, oh cool, this should be my shit. I love that Greek shit, right? But then when I found out it was going to be just as long as Origins, I was like, oh, I can't do it. I can't fucking do it. Even after buying that $100 edition, but you know, whatever. But I was like, I can't do it, man. I can't go through all of that shit again. It kept, Origin has a couple of like fake ends, like false ends. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
So does Odyssey.
Exactly. I'm not trying to do that.
I've the Assassin's Creed game.
Okay, was that me? Is that
No,
just
he
me?
went out that time. He went out that
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
All right, am I better now?
Every time he starts talking, it goes out, and then after a second, and then I start to hear what he's saying. It's been like that the whole time. Yeah.
Just like right now, if you said something,
Right.
he definitely went away.
I don't know if you got like a noise gate on and it's super aggressive or something, because
I do.
Yeah, you might want to turn it off and then kind of like test it. like by looking at the meter to see like where you're really speaking at, and then put it like a little under it, so it's not.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. Is it good now? Because the
That's
bar
better.
looks like it's good.
Yeah, it sounds way better actually.
Yeah, I adjusted it. Because I haven't purchased one in a while. Because shout out to Ubisoft Plus. That's how I play all my Ubisoft games. I pay the $15 for the month, and then
You
beat
like
it. And
Ubisoft Play? You might be the
No.
first person I've ever seen that you don't like it.
I don't like it, but I do it because I was really interested in, at the time, Odyssey, and I wanted to play it. I looked at the price and I was like, I'm not going to pay this. And then Ubisoft Plus, and I was like, wait, I could just pay the 15, play it, and then unsubscribe. And that's how I consume all my Ubisoft games now, because I may as well use it. I'm never going to pay full price, but I'll pay 15.
Thanks for the reminder, because I forgot I even had Ubisoft Plus. I should probably
cancel. Yeah, you probably should.
Man.
Yeah. You probably should.
Love you
had it
right
for
now.
years. I probably use it more.
Yeah, I got a free trial for like 3 months, and I played a whole bunch of games off of PC with them. You know, a lot of them, you know, that launcher is trash, and a lot of their older ones are really buggy, as Luca knows. And so I jumped off that train of playing a bunch of their older games really quickly and just kept to the Division content and Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six. And then once I got tired of that, it was already like close to the end of the trial, so I just unsubscribed from it. So
it's the same with EA though. That's why I love that. That's the only reason I have EA Pro and Ubisoft Plus. I have the launchers installed, is because they put both of their games day one on the service.
True.
I'm not going to pay 70 or whatever they're asking for an Assassin's Creed, but I'll do it for the 15. So that's how in the future from now on, Ubisoft and EA games specifically will be consumed through the subscription services, because it's just cheaper. So
yeah, I still do have EA Play Pro. I might be more in that camp with Mass, where I just keep forgetting to cancel it because I really don't need it. But then I remember that I have it when EA is dropping something I really want to play, and so it's just like, all right, well, I guess I'll keep it.
Like Jedi Survivor, like that through EA Play Pro.
I don't know. I think I have it. I think I got both of them when they first came out, and I've been subscribed to both since the beginning.
Damn,
I've used
they love you.
Very seldom. It's whatever. It's not a lot of money. I don't care.
Maslin, what are you eating?
Chicken, because I haven't eaten anything in 6 days. So
damn, it sounds like you were smashing that.
It is delicious. I haven't had anything to eat. It is lemon pepper, or hot lemon pepper. It is delicious.
Okay. Do you got any sides?
Yes, I got some mac and cheese. I got some greens and some cornbread. It is all delicious.
Okay.
It's my first meal since what's today? Saturday. So last Saturday.
Are you just coming off COVID?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were just like, hey, COVID hit me since the last time we talked. No, you just other
stuff has happened. But yes, like literally right now, it's just happening.
Wow.
It was the week before last, so 3 weeks ago. I was in the hospital for like a week, and then there was like a liquid diet, and then this is my first like meal for technically for real for like 2 weeks, but whatever.
Dang.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened. Shit happens, but I'm here. I'm alive. That's all that matters.
That's
awesome.
Big facts. That's all that matters.
I should cancel a lot of these services though. I think I have. I have Game Pass Ultimate. I don't think I've ever used that. I don't know. Oh, I know I have it for occasions where I play Destiny on Xbox, and then. I don't know.
My kids use Game Pass. My kids use my Game Pass more than I do.
Yeah, I think
that might be their child accounts. Yeah,
you're probably right about that.
I mean, I've still got Game Pass till the end of 2024. So, I mean, and then afterwards, I'll just stay subscribed because I play their I'm sure there's going to be some games that I'm unsure about, and they'll land in there, and I'll play them. Like Liza P, I wouldn't buy that game, but I'd play it probably through Game Pass when I get around to it. Sea of Stars, I'll play that through Game Pass. I mean, I could buy it, but whatever.
Yeah, I think I need. So I got EA. And now I'm going through all of them. There's too many. It's like
there is.
It's like Amazon. Even just subscriptions in general, because I don't have cable. I just have very fast internet, and that's all I paid for on purpose. And I haven't for like probably 7 or 8 years. But
how do you watch sports?
Fire Stick. So
really?
Yes, absolutely, 1000%.
Oh wait, a modded Fire Stick, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Who has a normal Fire Stick? Who does this?
Grandmas and everyone over 65 years old that has a Fire Stick.
I sent my grandmother a YouTube video on how to jailbreak her Fire Stick. She did it in 15 minutes and called me. Was like, I hate TV. Thank you. I remember this. But yeah, I have way too many subscription services. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's way too many. Just in general. But this is like a outside the box topic. Assassin's Creed though, very basic. If you like Assassin's Creed, you won't like this one because it's basic. And it's like they went back like 5 Assassin's Creeds and then like tried to mix in elements from the newer ones, and it didn't work. It's just boring. It's very boring. And there's no like mid-level. It's just boring. And then he's like overpowered for no reason. And then he can't do basic attacks all at the same time. It's like weird shit. It's like real weird dichotomy of how they tried to set this game up. But I think it's just the teaser until they get the Japan one out.
Yeah, well,
I heard there was it was supposed to be a DLC for Valhalla. And then I guess because they always want to have an Assassin's Creed release every year,
But I thought they stopped doing it. Didn't they say like after Valhalla they were no longer doing one every year? Wasn't that the plan?
Well, I mean,
guy came out and said that.
The thing is that Ubisoft changes where they're going to go, what their focus is on things so frequently. Who knows? Like, remember at one point they were going to try. They're always chasing trends too, so it's kind of hard to keep up with where their focus is on things and whatnot. But I don't know. They said they weren't trying to do an Assassin's Creed every year, and then they go take a DLC, and then they turn it into a full-on standalone game, or at least attempt to. And then here's another game. Assassin's Creed game for 2023, and then the one for Japan should be coming out next year, I think. So
yeah,
hopefully that one's good.
Well, yeah. So like I said, basic shit. Okay, so do you guys want to talk about that Drake thing with Joe Budden?
Maybe.
Okay, so here's the thing. I've not listened to this album yet because I'm not interested. But okay, so this is what Joe Budden has to say.
This is like Yachty rapping. This is like he rapping for the children. And that's dog, I had to look up how old this was when I finished listening to the album.
So yeah, there's been some criticisms against Drake regarding I'm just repeating what I heard, okay? Regarding the lack of evolution in his music, that he's still basically producing the same lyrical content as he did when he first came on the scene. That's the critique I've been hearing. Now, I'm not a Drake fan. I don't listen to his music like that, so I can't confirm or deny the validity of those allegations. I'm just saying that is what I've heard.
You are 36. Your birthday is in 20 days. I Googled that too. You will be 37 years old. Get the away from some of these younger niggas and stop these 25-year-olds. I'm listening to the album. You're a 37-year-old billionaire. I get it that you appeal to the world. Loving about Cole, like my shit is happening in reverse. Like with Cole, he used to rap about kid shit. I'm a grown ass, like real Jersey City. I want to hear how you lost your virginity. And then he started to grow up. And then the rapping sounded like an adult rapping. I'm want to hear adult Drake rapping for adult people.
So yeah, so that's been some of the critique and criticism leveled against Drake. I didn't actually listen to this clip before I had my reply to J-Mane and stuff. But this is what Drake said. Okay, now I giggled, I cackled. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like Joe Budden, but I don't necessarily know if he's wrong about this assessment because I don't listen to Drake. I mean, do you guys listen to Drake?
I do not listen to Drake.
Absolutely not.
I
But
listened to the album, and he's not wrong.
well, okay, you saying Joe Budden's not wrong about Drake's album?
Yeah, like
Well, I mean that doesn't surprise me either.
Drake made a TikTok album. That's the easiest way I can put the assessment out. Drake made a TikTok album. Like he made a bunch of songs that he wants somebody to do a challenge to. That's how it feels. I only listened to it once. I listened to it front to back once, but it just seems like it's an album made for a bunch of people to make TikToks too. That's what it's supposed to be for. Now,
Yeah.
What I just read the Drake reply. He's not wrong about that either. Like neither one of them are wrong.
I was about to say.
Neither one of them are wrong.
He's not wrong about what he said about Joe Budden.
Like I read that just now. He's not wrong.
But also, you notice he didn't actually address the things that Joe Budden said about his album. He just went in on Joe Budden, which was 1,000% accurate. Yeah.
And here's my thing, right? Like, again, I don't really like Joe Budden very much, not based on anything involving like his music or anything like that. I'm talking about like his personality. I don't like his personality. I also didn't he like beat a woman? I don't know. Did that not happen?
He's had multiple
he had allegations. Yeah.
Yeah. So I heard them. Okay. Anyway, I'm moving on from that. But what I'm saying is, I'm gonna read this response, right? I read this response, I cackled because he's right. Like he's right. Everything he said was correct. He was like, this is what he said. He said, "Listen, Joe, you have failed at music. You left it behind to do what you're doing in this clip because this is what pays your bills. For any artist watching this, just remember you are watching a failure giving their opinion on his idea of a recipe for success. A quitter give their opinion on how to achieve longevity. You switch careers because the things that pop into your brain had you broke, living check to check, and the raps you write had 450 men showing up to your shows in dusty, how do you say that word? Huh? In Nietzsche jeans to screw up their face to mood music. To mood. Okay, so to mood music, 29, and pretend you're the GOAT. Please, to any artist that's doing what they feel is right, don't let these opinions affect your mindset after the fact. This guy is the poster child of frustration and surrendering. You retired and we never hung up your jersey. We don't even remember your number. We know you doing this. We know you doing this.
We know you for doing this.
We know you for doing this. You withdrew from rap not because you accomplished all you need to. It's because it wasn't working for you. I never want anybody in the generations to think that the whole everybody's entitled to their own opinion is a real thing. This is a man projecting his own self-hate and the fact that I did and continue to do everything he wanted to do for himself. If you need it put in simpler terms, I own a 767. He owns a modest house in a 973 and flies first class on special occasions. Now, again, I was like laughing during this read because I was just like, he's not wrong, And this is what Joe says in response. Joe grew up sooner or later. Father Time is undefeated, right? And what's interesting about like all of this, right, is that J-Mane, I'm assuming this is what J-Mane means. J-Mane and then OBJ the Don, a couple other people. Sincere. Is this not the response of a hurt man?
Right, like that.
Paragraphs. You are writing paragraphs.
Hurt your feelings.
He hurt your feelings. Bad,
Yeah.
Like
he
that.
He hit some tender. He hit some tender flesh with that shot.
He definitely hit a nerve.
Mm-hmm.
Like the very first thing I thought when I read it just now was hurt people, and that's what I saw. So you felt hurt, so you went back and hurt him because this hurts, Joe. This is bad. It's true. Every part of it is true, and it's bad against Joe. But you felt hurt, so you had to hurt.
Which is why all Joe could say was. All
You
Joe
gonna
could
grow
say
up. Right,
was,
neither
you
one of
grow
them
up one
rebutted
day.
either point.
I mean, honestly, if I was Joe, I would have been going in on Millie Bobby Brown. I would have been going in. I would have been everything that you can bring up on Drake. I would have said.
Claire
But he was just
Huxtable
like,
haircut with the ponytails, like all of that. He could have went for anything, but neither one of them refuted either of the points because they both made actual points about the other. You can't say it's a lie, so you just have to attack somewhere different.
right.
Yeah, he was also
that's what
texting
happened.
with Billy when she was 17.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was younger than that.
I don't know, man.
I think she didn't expose it until she was 17. But like, I just remember that her doing the interview, and she was just talking about how.
You heard I said Billy, right? Not Millie.
Wait a minute, which one? Never mind. Go
He
ahead.
he was also texting with Billie Eilish.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't hear you say the Eilish part. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
No, I realized because Billy and
Wow.
Millie. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even hear about that. Good. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's that kind of guy, huh?
So
Sam Petty Poppy.
So her revelation didn't sit well with fans. Minnie called out the 33-year-old rapper's friendship with Billy, who turns 18, who just was going to turn 18 that year, noting the 15-year age gap between them, where it's like, and then Millie Bobby Brown was 14 texting with Drake.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it just doesn't look good. But
More
shout out
than
to
that, but I ain't gonna. We ain't gotta talk about it.
I know. Shout out to DC saying happy Saturday, and then with the dono, appreciate you, my boy, saying donating one for Whataburger for the panel. Thank you.
Oh
Appreciate
man,
it. Thank you, man. Thank you.
this man, Whataburger. Oh snap!
Why would
Thank
you? No, Whataburger is trash.
So, okay, it's a reference to this guy in the community who scammed like thousands of dollars out of people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then what I said applies both ways.
It still applies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's trash.
Yeah.
It's trash.
A minute.
I mean, you kind
You're
of,
still cutting off
big on the money side of things, Mass. So anyone ever hit up your Twitter DMs saying they needed $20 for food?
Mm-hmm. I don't read DMs of people I don't know. Hold on. I have.
Oh boy.
What's up, Andre? And then hold on. Shout out to John the Don, who's been a member for 33 months, saying shout out to the LOS. Hope y'all are having a great day. Drake served up Royal Joe and got that man in his feelings. Yeah, no, for sure, man. They both for sure.
I have 62 unread DMs.
Oh,
See if you have anything from Dre Watson.
Okay.
that would be hilarious.
The weirdest thing
What's
is
up, Roger?
I've never tried Whataburger, so
I've not
he
tried
donated
it.
it. He
I haven't
donated
either.
it to the panel, and I'd have to pass because I've never tried it before, so it might taste like shit.
You should
It's a regional chain, so it's like I guess it's just big in Texas in the Midwest. I guess.
I
They
think
brought one to
it's-
Memphis, and it was like lying around the corner. It's right next to Chick-fil-A, which was L to begin with. We in the South. You never complete with Chick-fil-A, but
Yeah, no one
It was right next to
competes with Chick-fil-A. Period.
right, it was a line around the corner, like for the first day, and then after that, like they got 2 lanes and everything, and they got this whole like large parking lot for people to line up, and I never see anybody in that parking lot because they all realize this ain't it. It ain't it. You tried.
Okay,
You tried it.
so which is better, a McDonald's burger or
wait, what?
Whataburger?
A McDonald's burger.
Wow, it's not even better than McDonald's.
Look, this Whataburger is like they try to be In and Out, except for they're not good at making burgers. So it's not even as good as In and Out's basic burger. Like In and Out is basic. If you get it fresh and you drunk, In and Out is delicious, but it's not even as good as In and Out's basic burger. To me, it's just
So how your burgers trash, but you pricing everything like Five Guys?
I'm telling you.
I mean, again, they have to be good to someone because they're still in business. So
It's
Right.
like Backyard Burger. They overpriced for drive-through burgers, and most of them closed. And I don't know how Whataburger stays in business other than Texas keeps them open.
So yeah. Okay, but yeah.
What is his
So
name? Dre what?
Dre Watson.
Dre Watson.
With
Yeah,
Dre with a Y.
Dre is definitely helping keep a Whataburger open though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see
So-
anything.
All right. Well, that would have been hysterical
Yeah.
if so. But yeah. So let me just ask you something. Is it like it's weird to be texting with like kids, right? That you're not related to when you're
Very
like, an adult?
much so. Like,
Even
what the-
if it's like,
what are
even
you
if you're
doing?
famous, even if you're both famous, that's weird, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't get it. Like, look, even if you're both famous and you just want to be like, hey, I see you out here. If you just want to give someone advice, like you could do it publicly. You don't have to do it, or like just one message at that. Like, hey, look, you're famous now. Things have changed for you. Here's a hint on how to handle the fame and paparazzi and stuff, and keep it moving. You're an adult. That's a child. Inviting
Brian.
young girls below the age of 18 to hang out with you in your hotel room.
You did that?
Yes, that's what Millie had said in the interview.
That's a
Everybody was just
little-
like,
It's a
yeah,
little
that's more than a
suspicious, yeah.
little. That's very suspicious.
Right. We
Like-
passed a little point a long time ago.
Yeah, he's way out there with that. Like that's a hell no.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's problematic, bro. Like big time.
Champetty Poppy.
Yeah, that's like, see, that's the most interesting aspect of Drake. But I feel like if he had done anything, people would have come out already, right? Like he's been on the scene
don't
for a
know.
long time.
Not necessarily
It didn't have
Bill
R. Kelly
Cosby.
for
Oh
or
damn, you
Bill
right.
Cosby and R. Kelly. Like R. Kelly was a long time, and then a video popped up, and everybody's like, "What the hell?" And then nobody cared for another 12 years,
20
or
years,
another,
yeah.
like 12, 20. And then it was like sprinklings, and then all of a sudden at once it was like, "Put this nigga in jail." But he's been out for 35 years doing this shit.
Yeah, Bill Cosby even longer into a
Yep.
comedian, a no-name comedian out of nowhere decided to call him out, and then it was like 20 plus women that he drugged and took advantage of, and it's like Bill Cosby did this. So no, yeah, like give it another 15 years
I mean,
when
that
no
was the
one cares
pre-Me
about
Too
Drake
movement,
anymore.
though.
Hey, look, these are the same. I don't think in the music industry that when you're big that people are any different than they were back in the 90s when how they treated people who were big.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Give
right.
Drake like 15 years when his star isn't as high and no one cares about him, then he's going to get exposed for all the stuff he was doing. Then he'll get put in jail.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I think I'm reading because I do remember when all this information came out. I forgot about the hotel part. But yeah, so Millie was like, I love him. I met him in Australia and he's honestly so fantastic and a great friend and a great role model. We just texted the other day and he was like, I miss you so much. And I was like, I miss you more.
Yeah.
That's
What
what
are
the
you
hell?
talking about?
Yeah. So
Oh my god.
why is Drake telling a 14-year-old girl he misses her? He misses her as a 32-year-old man. And then like when asked what kind of advice he gives her, Millie says, "Oh, he helps me with boys. Yeah, he gives me advice about boys. Yeah. He's great. He's wonderful. I love him." And when the interview asked further, she says, "Oh, that stays in the text messages." So a 32-year-old man was texting a 14-year-old girl and giving her advice about boys.
Yeah, this is not my radar's going off right now. Like that's there's something sus there.
Just check the basement. That's all I'm saying. Check
Oh no. What you need to do is get access to his phone and check the messages. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like I do when people criticize Millie or they criticize Drake, Millie came to his defense, and so did Billy when people were criticizing Drake because when they found out, when she revealed that she texted with Drake when she was 17, right? They both defended him, but the thing of it is, when it comes to young people, they don't. I mean, they don't understand that shit's weird until they get to that age, right? Like how Demi Lovato didn't realize that dating a 29-year-old at like, damn, how old was she? Like, damn, hold on, let me check. How old was Demi when dating Wilmer? Okay. Demi Lovato did not realize that it was weird that she was dating a 29-year-old when she was 18 until she was 29, you know? And then you look back and you're just kind of like, because, you know, you look at your own age, right? Me as a 30-year-old, you're not going to catch me talking to any 18-year-olds about anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, what do I need to talk to them about? Especially if I'm not in any field relating to children, which I'm not, right? It's weird. It's super weird. And you know, I don't know.
The only time I talk to someone who's younger than me is like if it's like my nephew or something.
Yeah, it's family, you know?
Oh yeah, it comes to me for advice because he's like 12 now. And it's like, yeah, if you come to me advice about girls, sure, I'll give you some advice. But I ain't doing it to some just random 12-year-old, 14-year-old, you know, out in the world. No.
Yeah, it's just it's super weird in my opinion. By everyone's opinion. I'm just thinking about, oh Lord, it's spooky, you know, it's spooky. So okay. All right. What's up, Captain? Yeah. Yeah. I'm very curious to see what happens in a couple years when it comes to Drake. Very, very curious.
Yeah, I think nothing, because look, a lot of people, they will find his behavior disgusting, but they like the money that he generates and makes for them more than their disgust. So people aren't going to say things. People aren't going to advance any movement towards repercussions for him until he's no longer making them money. And
okay,
so,
that's fair.
yeah.
I I can't wait to revisit this Scumcast episode 1000 when I'm 40 and Slomo's in his 50s.
Wow.
Maslin. Maslin, how old are you? Oh, he's muted. Okay, we can just move on.
Wait, wouldn't Slow-Mo be in his 50s?
Yeah, that's what I said. Slomo in his 50s.
Oh, so you'll be in the old people's home. Okay. Podcasting.
Haha, singer. Haha.
All right, let's get these channel member topics and skedaddle. What do you have in common with a 20-year-old, 18, 20-year-old with a 35, 40 plus? Exactly. It feels like I wouldn't talk to no teen as a 29-year-old, but as a preteen, I definitely want to bag a 29-year-old. Yeah, like when you're younger, you don't really understand the position that you're putting these adults in, or the fact that they're fucking weirdos for talking to you. But anyway, Ronald says, what are your thoughts on Sony padding complete edition / remasters? If Wolverine is the next big publisher coming to PS5, then Sony might be in trouble. In my opinion, I think Sony needs to bring back some dormant IPs because their live service shift is looking spooky. I think, and we discussed this at the beginning of the show, I think it's a little weird that they keep, because allegedly they're coming out with The Last of Us 2 remaster / remake. I'm like, it's excessive. It's excessive, but it makes the money. You know what I'm saying? Some people want a new IP from Naughty Dog. Some people are cool with this, you know. I think it's excessive, especially if you're getting 60 frames already with these games. Like, I can understand if the patches were for 60 or for higher frame rates. I get that, but yeah, that's just my opinion. I think that Sony should come out with some more dormant IPs. You know, bring back some titles that people loved in the past. You know, give them a fresh new coat of paint, revamp them. You know what I'm saying?
I do think it is padding, because if you don't have any like first party games to release, they're still cooking. You could just remaster a game and drop it, and then if you combine it with your third party exclusives, like Square Enix is doing a lot of work for Sony right now. They got 2 games this year, another game next year. Like they are putting in work. So I mean, they'll just carry it, release this next year, and there we go. You got like a nice first party game that people are gonna buy, and there we go.
All right.
I don't know if they need to switch gears on their current game plan right now. I mean, it's on the outside looking in, it does look pretty spooky, but you never know if one of these games that comes out really hits or not, and most likely they won't. There's very rare that a game blows up, but if it does, it'll make all of the other failed projects worth it, because the amount of money that a massive live service game generates is enough to take Epic Games from being a moderately sized developer to a massive platform on PC and all this other stuff, and publishing games, all because of the money that Fortnite generates. So it all depends on if one of them can really hit.
For sure, man.
And we don't know yet. We don't know if that will happen yet.
I don't think. Well, even if one of them hits, though, the game will last for, especially in this day and age, it'll last for a year, and then it'll go by the wayside like everything else, like it tops. Because even if PUBG and Fortnite or whatever came out now, it wouldn't have the same impact that it did when it came out before. So
yeah, but then you got games like Valorant. Like Valorant's still on just one platform, and that game gets more concurrent players than Call of Duty does.
Sure, but you got to think about it like this. That's the same thing. Like Valorant is in the CS:GO type family. It's CS:GO updated, right? So all those people who were just playing CS:GO migrated to Valorant. So that large pool swung over. But the people who are still playing the revamped PUBG, or they're playing the other one, I forgot what it's called. That's basically PUBG, but with abilities, I forgot what it's called. And then Apex and Fortnite, those people are still playing those games, and those numbers dwindle, and then they settle at whoever is going to play and keep playing long term. And then COD will get its refresh. Battlefield will get its refresh every time they put out DLC or a new COD comes out, and then or a new season or whatever, and then those will fall off. So unless this game takes away all of those audiences, it's not going to be as big as any one of those audiences when they first came out. And it's not going to last as long because all those other games exist. Like Valorant hit at the right time and it blew up for a large portion of the time. And then it slowly came down and stabilized just like everything else. And that didn't even happen in a year. Like my kids play it all the time, but they went from Apex for a real short burst of a couple months, and then Valorant for a short burst of a couple months, then they moved on to something else or went back to whatever they were playing before, Roblox, whatever expansion or whatever they're playing at the time. So it's the same ebb and flow. So even if it's something that hits, it's not going to hit as hard. And it's not going to make up for the fact that everything else didn't hit. I don't think, like, just because of the society we're in now, it's a very, what have you done for me lately society. And that is more exacerbated by social media because everything is in front of everybody at all times.
I mean, I guess we'll have to see. When I say if it really hits, I don't mean like a hit like a Rocket League hit. Like that's like, Rocket League, what's some like multiverse, some stuff that kind of like it's a flash in the pan, everybody's playing it for the moment, but then you hear a year later that it got shut down because people stopped playing it once they got bored and moved on. I mean, like an actual hit is like it is a seismic shift. Like it really kind of changes things. And yes, that does mean that like you're going to be taken away from other games, but that does happen from time to time. Like a real seismic shift in the industry of a live service game means that some other live service game, if they don't adapt, they die. But I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying it's not impossible for it to happen. It's just going to have to be a massive leap for them to be able to reach that kind of level. But it's just it's no guarantee just based off of right now, what we can see right now, that they can't attain that. We just don't know.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Ronald. Shout out to John the Don saying, "What are your favorite albums of the year for any genre of music?" I like Guts from Olivia Rodrigo, and I really like Portals from Melanie Martinez. I can't think of any other albums I listened to this year. What about you guys?
I can't think of a single new album that I listened to this year that I cared
can.
for. Yeah.
Kashmir, Dharma Sounds of Summer, Volume 4. Now, you probably wouldn't know this because this is like electro house kind of big room.
I don't even know what those words mean, man.
Techno and electronic. It's European. It's mainly European thing. But yeah, this guy, he does fantastic work, and check it out if you do have a chance. Just YouTube Kashmir and have a look at his things. A lot of it is Indian inspired because he's an Indian American, and it is really, really good. Really, really good.
I like Hood's Hottest Princess. That's Sexy Red's album. That was fire.
You listen to Sexy Red?
No, hell no. I had to look up what it's called. Why you pushing? I had to look up what it's called. I don't know. Who put out a good album? Nas. I like Nas' album. Magic. And then I think that's probably it. This is not a good year for music. In my opinion, but this is me, because we have Sexy Red and Sukihana. That was the best that ever happened.
I need you to never speak those words again, but okay. I'm like, please don't speak about such things.
My bad.
In my presence.
I did that to myself. You're right.
I was thinking, Kashmir did have a really popular song. Yeah, I'm assuming everyone here did. Like a G6.
Yes, I
remember that song.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he made that. That was one of his first breakout hits. So you kind of could tell what kind of music he likes making. But yeah, there we go.
All right, cool. So shout out to Corey with the topic saying, if you were to take over as PlayStation CEO, what vision would you have going forward? Definitely, just continue the focus on first party IP, making new first party IP, getting my studios to continue making compelling stories, compelling games. Maybe take a little bit of a step back from the live service angle, but you know what? Not like a major step back, just like a slight step back. You know what I'm saying? Mostly because I understand TV is different from gaming, but like, seeing all those streaming services continue to raise their prices, I don't know, man. It's looking a little spooky. But what the hell? Okay, it's looking a little spooky, so that's what I would do. But definitely focus on first party IP and such. What about y'all?
My vision is really simple. Day and date PC. Put all your games on there. It is a market of gamers. Doesn't matter what you do, they are not going to buy your damn console. There is a cap in the console market. Doesn't matter how well you do. So go to where they're at and just drop them. It's more money. It's easy money. Because, yeah, you could do the waiting game, but after 2 years, how many people would have bought it day one versus how many people would wait 2 years to buy it? It's save it from being old news. That's what I'd do, because that's easy money.
Like, even on these investor calls, I don't see the ROI on them, the waiting, because like development strategy means that now you have to invest money into your port studios, which you literally bought studios just to make bad PC ports. Like, because that's all they do. They make bad PC ports. They don't even make good PC ports, and that's all they do. So if you're developing along with those individual platforms and you release at the same time, the console sales you are getting from the few people who are gonna buy the console in order to play this one game aren't as large anymore because console sellers, that's not really a term now, that most games are on everything after a certain amount of time. So big console sellers, you're not getting those people waiting outside to buy a console and a game like you were 10 years ago. So the ROI on these two, I don't get it. I don't see where that dichotomy is. You're making up for one with the other by trying to push people to wait.
And especially if you're complaining the dev costs are going up, well, just port it to PC and you could recoup a whole bunch of money, I'm sure. Like, you could get some of that back. So, because it's just free money. Because, I mean, you wait 2 years, half the fan base that would have bought your game probably don't care. It's 2 years old. Who cares? They play in other games. It's been 2 years, So.
And they've seen the ending on YouTube. Like,
yep.
Especially considering the games that Sony makes. They've seen, too many clips of it, and then they've seen, basically how this game played out and all the problems and good parts. They've seen all that, and they didn't get the experience at the beginning. So you get a small portion of sales a couple of years. But I focus on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you cut out?
Yeah.
It started like circling.
I wasn't. Listen, I wasn't sure if it was me or not. Nobody said anything.
I saw like circling, and I was like, okay. But yeah, I would say focus on first party, and then also expand your brand. Like, it's not y'all. If you keep living in the Blockbuster area, you're gonna get left behind like Blockbuster. No matter how many good games you put out, no matter how much you're placating to your audience, Blockbuster had an audience too. And then times changed. And you didn't shift with the times. And if you keep coming later, like after everybody, especially with how progressively fast technology is moving, the later you are, the worse off you're gonna be. And your prestige only lasts until people stop caring.
Gotcha. Did Singer go?
What I would do? Say what?
Yeah, he said.
Yeah.
He said.
Okay.
PC.
Yeah, I'm PC'd and it. Yeah.
I would try to just diversify the first party as much as possible, not necessarily be focused solely on one kind of game or one kind of budget of a game or AAA or whatever, but I would try to make sure that I'm not leaving behind the other kinds of titles that could provide more innovation, like smaller indie AA stuff. Like, the reason why you don't get much innovation in the AAA scene is just that if you're spending $200 million, you're not going to spend that much money on game design ideas that aren't proven. You're going to spend that kind of money on something that you know is going to work, which is why you see so much repetition and redundancy in that area. And so with the way they're leaning now, they're leaning a lot more towards live service and doubling down on the kind of content that has worked for them before, which is fine. But in the future, it's kind of like what Maz talked about, like, you never know how the wind's going to blow. And if you're not prepared to make all kinds of different content that people can like, you can in the long-term future get left behind. So I would just try to make sure that my first party was as diverse as possible. They got rid of Sony Japan, and yeah, they weren't selling like their other games sell, but they provided quality content. And in my eyes, if there's a quality game that didn't find the audience, is that on the developer or is that on you as a publisher for not finding that quality game and audience? So I would go back to making those kind of games that, in addition to the bigger budget games, because those smaller games can be, gap fillers, where in a year like this year, where they're only dropping one game, you could have some of those smaller titles coming out this year that could actually provide people content they might be willing to try. So yeah,
nice.
That's what I would do.
All great. Great.
On mine.
So y'all are sure, like, it's not me, right? Like,
I do not hear Singer right now.
Like, cutting in and out.
No, I know one I cut out because I was looking at the screen and it started like circling. I was like, they can't hear nothing I'm saying. So I stopped talking.
Yeah,
until it showed back up. So I knew I was cutting out.
There's something wrong with the detection. Either way, I was just gonna say I'd make actual real RPGs as well. That's what I'd do at CU. Because someone's got to tell them how to make one.
Okay. Okay, so shout out to Outbreak. What's up, Dave? Okay, so anyway, Dave says the ABK deal is done on Friday the 13th. I love Friday the 13th. It's one of my favorite days. Yeah, what a spooky day to end it on, literally. And Redfall back from the dead. So Redfall got a 30 frames per second patch. What else did they get in that update?
They also got animations for takedowns. Let me go find it because there was more to it, but the only things I could think of right now was 60 frames per second, and takedowns. But there was more to it. Give me a second.
Okay, well, as you're looking for it, as of October 5th, Redfall's concurrent Steam players have hit single-digit figures every day for the past 2 weeks. Ah, my lord. What an L game, dude. What an L game.
What a fall from grace.
It has increased open world enemy population and new encounters, new controller settings, gameplay and combat changes, including with the stealth takedowns and 60 FPS for Xbox Series X and S.
Yep, nobody cares.
Yep, nobody.
Anybody going back?
Nope.
Absolutely. I didn't even start.
See, this is the problem, right? I'm gonna tell you what the problem was. Redfall came out, nobody cared when it came out, except for the people who was trying to make it seem like Xbox was doing something. But the problem was the Redfall does nothing that the older games that Redfall took after actually did. And it wasn't nobody was going to wait for it to fix because it wasn't a unique game. Like the reason Sea of Thieves is where it is because at least it did something different. Even if it wasn't great or entertaining or fun or any of those things, it did something different. So the people that stuck around were okay with waiting till they started putting out content and grabbing more stuff to do and all that stuff. So at least filled some niche. Redfall didn't because it's a buried genre that nobody cared about for years to begin with, and it came out way too late and it wasn't doing anything special to begin with. So nobody waited around long enough for them to fix it because nobody cared to begin with.
It's never going to get a resurrection like Sea of Thieves, because Sea of Thieves, I can't remember the streamer that boosted popularity. But also, I have to shout out Rare themselves.
Was it Shroud? I think Shroud was the one.
I think it was Shroud. But they regular updates, free DLCs, free stories like the Pirates of the Caribbean, Monkey Island one. They're both free. Like their seasons are good. They're constantly chucking it. Like you play the game now, because I dive back in just to check it out. This game is insane how much content it's gotten. If this game released like it is now, nothing but praise for the game. People will be absolutely loving it.
What?
Problem is they didn't have any content. Yeah. I think it would have reviewed a hell of a lot better.
Sorry, what game?
Sea of Thieves.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah, Redfall's garbage.
Sea of Thieves certainly wouldn't be a 69 or whatever it is.
Well, I'm sure you're gonna start seeing a bunch of streamers. You'll start seeing a bunch of Twitch players playing Redfall again. I guarantee it because Xbox is gonna pay them to do so.
Yeah, but
in the next couple weeks, that's gonna happen. I guarantee it. 1,000%.
The problem is,
and it's gonna spike and go away, and nobody's gonna care again.
It's not as fun as Sea of Thieves because Sea of Thieves is 4-player co-op, but it's you get to interact with other players. This PvP, that was the fun of it. Just someone's hunting for treasure, and you just go over, kill them, rob their ship, take all the treasure chests, sink their ship, and then just laugh as you sail off into the sunset. It's like
I said, it had a niche.
Mm-hmm.
And Redfall doesn't. And that's why even when Xbox pays these people to play it and promote it, They're gonna do it for the time they're paid for, and they're not gonna play it again after. And it's never gonna get a revival because nobody cared to begin with.
You know, we said this back when they announced that it would be launching without performance mode. That was a mistake, and they should just delay the game until they had 60 FPS. Because by the time they come out with a performance mode on Xbox, nobody will be playing the game anymore, and it wouldn't matter. And here we are, 5 months after launch. They're launching the game. I mean, I'm sorry, they're launching 60 FPS performance mode, and there's barely anybody playing it. And if anyone's playing anything that's an Xbox first party game right now, it's Starfield. And they're probably not going to put down Starfield to try out the really, not talking about content creators or people trying to prove a point. People who legitimately want to play the game to enjoy it aren't going to drop Starfield or what's coming out recently, all the other games that's coming out recently, to pick Redfall back up just because it's got performance mode and takedown animations, and they finally added dead zones and for aiming, which is stuff that like any game
Making
that
the
if
game
you're gonna
work.
take any game, if you're taking shooting seriously in a game, you should have had this stuff at launch. You didn't
add no content. You just made the game work. Okay.
Brian E says delaying Redfall means also delaying Starfield. No,
it
no,
doesn't.
not at all. No, it doesn't. Starfield came out in September, right?
Yep.
If you would have delayed Redfall to October, you would have been just fine. I do not think that that would have been a problem. You should have
But then where'd
delayed
you
the
put
game until it
Forza?
was ready.
Where'd you put
Those
Forza
two
then?
different audiences, though. That's honestly two different
Yeah,
audiences.
but did you really want Forza and Redfall releasing in the same month, though?
Yes.
Was Forza really ready to come out when it came out?
I mean, depends who you talk to.
Okay.
The answer to that is no. If you have
Yeah,
to,
so-
if you have to say it depends, then the answer is no.
Exactly. like
if it's an objective or subjective decision, then it's no. It needs to be objectively. This is correct. If that's not the case, then the answer is
ready.
No.
When you make a change in the PC version and you have to completely shut the game down and reboot the game for the change to take effect, your game wasn't ready. Just keep it a buck. But no, I mean, you may get some people that may go back to it, but it's this is very different, and especially when you got people trying to compare it to other success stories, like say what One Man's Sky? What's the name of that game?
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Thank you. One Man's Sky. I can barely finish. No Man's Sky and Cyberpunk. The difference is that Arcane Austin is owned by Microsoft, and they're good. They're fine. They're already making a Arcane Austin-ish kind of game now. They're already moved on. They never wanted to make Redfall in the first place. They wanted it to be canceled, which is very different than Hello Games and CDPR, where they believed in their game. They lied about their game, which is a big mistake. They paid for that, and they worked hard to try to get that game back into good graces, because if they didn't, it was going to severely impact their studio and their studio's future. CDPR had to make Cyberpunk better for their own reputation.
And
Hello Games, if Hello Games didn't make No Man's Sky better, they wouldn't exist right now.
And they did it with content. You can't just put out a thing that fixes the game. That needs to happen within like a couple weeks of the game releasing, where you put out things that fix the game. And then you can put out a big patch that fixes a whole bunch of known issues later. But the things that just make the game work, that needs to happen fast. When you start to release the big 2.0 patch, it also needs to come along with, here's some more things to do, so that people will come back and be like, oh, it does feel better to play, and I have something else to do. That's the difference between Redfall is just releasing stuff that makes the game work, and the game been out for months. But then, like CD Projekt Red, they immediately released patches to fix parts of the game. Kept going, and they were releasing stuff to fix just things that weren't in the game or that weren't working correctly. It was almost like every 3 days they were putting out a patch to fix the game. It was like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Like they literally were doing it in that increments of putting out these patches, and then they put out, here's a big chunk that changes a whole bunch of stuff, fixes a whole bunch of problems, and here's these other activities to do. So now there's something else to do with the game. And then even now they put out 2.0, and then here's Phantom Liberty. Like they did it where there's actual stuff, a reason to come back and play other than the game is working now.
Right. And I think so. One of the other bigger reasons why, I mean, you see the turnaround for that one game, but then you probably shouldn't expect that kind of turnaround for Redfall is Cyberpunk still is a CDPR kind of game. Like it still has the same kind of systems. It's an RPG. It is within their wheelhouse. Like they knew what they needed to do. They just did not have the time to get it done. At least the leadership did not give them the time to make it happen. All they needed was more time to turn the game around. Arcane Austin isn't like they're not known for looters. They're not known for their shooting elements in their games. These are things that they weren't familiar with. They make immersive sims. Redfall is not an immersive sim. So the only way to really turn Redfall around is to really do the content that you promised you would do, which they're doing, which I commend them for because they promised it and they're going to deliver on it. But then turn that game over to someone like Roundhouse Studios or someone else under Bethesda and let them, experiment and decide to like put more, actual thought into how to make the game better, do other things like that, because that's not you. This isn't what you do. And yeah, sure, there are tons of studios, not tons. There are a few studios that we can think of that have gone from making one kind of game and then taking that same level of quality towards another kind of game. But they typically showed that they had that ability to do that when that game launched. And that's not Arcane Austin. And that's fine. You're not that studio. You're not as good as, say, Respawn. And you don't need to be. Go back to making the Dishonored 3 or whatever else, Prey 2, and make games that people enjoy from you. But let this one go.
So real quick, I just want to point. So K did go in the comments said, I mean, Xbox always does fix their games and they get high communities. I honestly don't think you guys can name one game that Xbox has abandoned or will. Xbox does
Bleeding Edge. Bleeding Edge.
Man, God, what? Who? Immediately
Can't believe
they left that shit behind.
Can't believe he said that. Right. Can't believe he said that.
Off a damn cliff. Off a cliff. Nobody has heard about none of that. Nothing. Absolutely nothing about that. Also, and we're gonna.
I cannot believe. Can't believe you said that.
There. Oh, I was there. I was immediately. I was like, "What? No!" But even the first part about that, you said Xbox always does fix their games. Why do they need to? That is a problem to begin with. If they have to always fix their damn games, they need to not.
Why aren't you learning? Why aren't you learning? You keep releasing games.
Okay, wait. Hold on, KT the GOAT. Here's the issue. This is what we don't do here. You were wrong. Okay, they named a game that Xbox abandoned. You cannot come and set different parameters after you were proven wrong. That's called moving the goalpost. All right, you were just wrong, dude. Okay, just go ahead and accept that.
And he said we had to go back to 2018. Bleeding Edge came out in 2020.
Dang. Wrong about that too.
That too.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh man.
Anyway, thanks for being here, Katie the GOAT. Really appreciate it, man.
You, brother. We appreciate you.
But yeah, you gotta get those facts straight before coming through, man.
I read it. I was like, what? Why did you make this statement? You shouldn't have done that. I don't be here all the time, but when I pay attention, I'm paying attention.
I mean, I was you were reading the statement. I just blurted out bleeding. It came to my mind and out my mouth immediately. I was like, that sounds like bleeding
When
edge.
I tell you, I didn't even get halfway through this, and he said, "You can't name one game." I was like, "Bleeding Edge." In my head, I already said it. That's why I started reading it, because I was gonna say Bleeding Edge.
It was at the forefront of my mind because I played the hell out of Bleeding Edge. I saw the potential it had. Like, it had potential. It just needed some changes that clearly the team from Ninja Theory that was making it did not have the resources to make. And I'm just like, bro, speed up character movement, make a couple of changes with the maps, come up with some more characters, make some characters that people actually want to look at. Because all your characters are butt ugly, and you can't make a hero shooter with butt ugly characters. Who thought that was a good idea? And then, like, these are easily very fixable things, and within a year, they pulled the plug. So just they abandon games. They will abandon the game. Crackdown 3 multiplayer.
Oh man.
So it's just take that. It's okay. Just take
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, and they talk about Killer Instinct. Yes, they abandoned that too. They bought a studio to make it and then abandoned the game so the studio can make something else.
And then the studio got bought anyway.
Right, and then the studio got bought. So again, this happens quite often on the Xbox side. But also with that first part, they should not have to fix all of their games. They should just put them out working. And then they won't have to fix them because they won't need high communities after the fact if they have communities out the damn gate.
Yeah, and kind of goes to show that it's not either you like these aren't dumb people, clearly. So this is a pattern that continues because it's by design. They know the game is incomplete. They know they're releasing content that's not ready. They expect you to sit there and deal with it until they get it all figured out. And that's just not, I think that's kind of disrespectful to your community that is expecting feature complete, good, ready to go content at launch, and they're not getting that.
Yeah,
and just because Sea of Thieves turned out great doesn't mean, hey, we can continue to keep doing this. No, you can't, because you get Halo Infinite.
Yeah, so here's the thing, like, Katie the Goat, I'm just saying, buddy, the fact that you're even bringing up that it was farther back instead of immediately being like, okay, you got me on that one, but, if you had added had some extra context there, then you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Jenna Hayes, people call out Xbox all the time, dude. What are you talking about?
Even
people are always talking about Xbox having issues. Like, everybody
even
calls
the fact
them out.
that you said we had to go back. You acting like Xbox putting out games like back to back to back to back to back. Like they putting out a whole bunch of shit that we can only critique games that came out. And there's a lot that they haven't. And then when they come out, we get Redfall. So like we can't critique things that are supposed to come out because they ain't out yet.
I mean, they only just started releasing constant games. Like, we got 8 in a row, people. 8.
That just happened.
Actually,
they went an entire generation and released like 2.5 games. So.
All of last gen, they never had 8 games in a row in 2 years. First party. That's wild. But hey, we had a Redfall, but we also had a Hi-Fi Rush. And that was a quality game. So, I mean, hit and miss. Gotta see where it lands.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, Katie the Goat. Are you like new to the chat or something? Like, what are you talking about? I've never seen you in the chat before, so I guess I'm assuming that you're new because you're saying like Redfall is all you talk about. How? I'm like, what are you talking about? We talk about Xbox's other games, like
also
when they come out.
I don't know. Have you been here the whole show? Because we were talking
so.
about Redfall because that was the topic.
Yeah, like it was suggested by a channel member.
We were talking about Redfall because Redfall was brought up. We didn't like bring it up throughout any part of the show until somebody else was like, "Hey, Redfall's back," and we were like, "Is it?"
Right. So
and it was suggested by an Xbox guy, a very good Xbox guy.
yeah.
Shout out to Web Dave. He's a cool
Yeah,
guy.
he's awesome. And then
Yeah,
Chinahei saying, I disagree. People don't hold them accountable like other platforms. Again, I don't know what reality you're living
What?
in, but it's not this one. You're not living in
Like-
reality, buddy. I'm
Or
sorry
what-
to say.
or what-
If you like, here's the thing when it comes to console warriors for any platform, they're not going to hold the platform accountable, but other people will, and vice versa. So saying that nobody holds them accountable, it's like, what are you talking about? Like, that's just not true. Everybody talks shit about Xbox.
If anything, other places aren't held as accountable. Like, in its own right, Square Enix is probably even worse than Xbox when it comes to quality control. Because they'll release a banging game if it's called Final Fantasy. If it's not called Final Fantasy, flip a coin, baby, because you have no idea what you're going to get. You're going to get a pile of crap, or you're going to get something good, maybe. So, I mean, everyone does it, but no one roasts Square Enix the same way they do, because Square Enix makes Final Fantasy, and everyone seems to love Final Fantasy for whatever.
Oh, okay. Here's the thing, Katie the Goat. I am all for people calling us out, but only if they actually know what they're talking about. And whatever your perceived reality of us is it's your perception is not actually matching the truth. Because again, we're talking about this because it was a channel member topic. And secondly, we've discussed other Xbox games before.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're saying we're being picky about a game that had a 58 on Metacritic. There's not much to be picky about. The game wasn't good, and it wasn't because it didn't have 60 FPS.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what Katie the Goat's trying to say. I'm not really sure what their point.
Awesome.
What is your what is your main point exactly? Like, I'm genuinely curious because again, if you have been in the chat before, like you,
hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up. So I just want to point out this before we let him go. So he said,
"All right, take care, guys.
Later, brother.
See you later, Slomo."
He said, and I quote, "I'm simply pointing out you guys being picky for real. It's not a console war. I was a PS main last gen. I'm just saying." Ooh. The only people who ever say stuff like that were the opposite. Like, what made you switch to Xbox this gen? Because they haven't done anything that was like, oh, I need to buy an Xbox. So what made you not stay PS this gen? Because they at the beginning of this generation they put out more than Xbox. Just this year they didn't do shit. But so the only time people ever say that or try to pretend like they're fake neutral or any of that is when the thing that we are talking about is their primary source of love or whatever for some inane reason.
Yeah, I just dropped my mic. Oh Lord, my mic stand just fell to the ground. So we're gonna have to wrap this shit up.
I just don't understand picky. Like we've criticized a lot of Xbox.
Did somebody say that Redfall is the average?
No. What?
Huh?
Katie the Goat is saying that it's weird to say Redfall is the average. Did anybody say that?
Average?
No.
What?
Yeah.
Average as in like the average kind of quality, I guess.
No. You the only one said they always got to fix their games. This was your words. We just said they shouldn't always have to fix their games. You said that.
Anyway, we're just gonna leave. Okay.
I'm so lost.
I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so shout out to Slomo who came through. I am literally holding my mic up by I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I wasn't paying attention for like the last 10 minutes. So like if something was said, I don't know. Anyway, we're just gonna move on. So Singer, go ahead and do your outro.
Well, it is me. Shout out for Masling coming through. Nice to see you. Great show, great panel, and despite the chat, great chat as always. I mean, some good jokes. Don't worry about what that means. Just great chat.
Okay.
And you can find me everywhere, doing the usual. And bear in mind, remember this, people. State of Decay 2 is a good game. Thank you.
All right, Mass. Thanks for coming through, buddy.
Yeah. It's so much worse. Anyway, I'm a glare over the comment I just read. Just never mind. So,
Does he think that? Do you think we're an anti-Xbox podcast?
I don't know. I'm an anti-everybody podcast. So, in my own.
Do you think we're an anti-Xbox podcast with Singer on the panel?
Again, I read it. I was like,
Let's
I honestly don't understand it because people call me this second coming the Kid Smooth. I don't know. Come on, people.
I don't know what's going on. Anyway, you guys have a good rest of your night. Bye.
Yeah.
Nothing but
Yeah.
love.
Kiss
and
my
kisses,
ass.
man. Maslin says that all the time in general. He's not talking.
Yes, I'm not talking to you,
KD.
KD. I'm talking to everyone. Kiss my ass.